Dear listeners and viewers, thank you for joining us on FOASPS TV and in your show all about FOASPS. We'll be back shortly. Facilitating group retreats or facilitating is the theme of our discussion today. And we have a guest. He is Mr. Alain Kofi Kumoji, the Permanent Secretary of FOASPS. Thank you, sir, for joining us today.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
I hope you're fine.
I'm great. I thank God.
It's always a pleasure to have you on set because you always educate us to learn more about FOASPS and what FOASPS does. Thank you once again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. And today is in your favorite show, all about FOASPS. And we are going to learn more about a topic, facilitating an event. What is it? The word or the concept facilitating. And how does it work?
Okay. Facilitation is the process by which somebody called a facilitator or a group of facilitators in an event are there not to bring the content of the event, but to bring the tools, the methodology, the approach by which all the participants in that event can put on the table their ideas, their proposal, discuss them, and come out with a consensus solution. So when you compare facilitation to other, I want to call them technique, you can refer to training. Facilitation is not training. You can compare to consultancy. A facilitator is not a consultant. Okay, so maybe if you allow me, I will make the discussion very shortly.
Yeah.
In a training, we have a trainer who brings the content, who knows about a topic, and who give that content to other people. Okay? When you call on a consultant, the consultant comes with a capacity to analyze the situation and provide solutions and recommendations. So when the consultant is doing his work or her work, the client is not necessarily involved. But at the end of the day, the consultant provides a report with the recommendation and solutions. The facilitator ultimately is obliged to work with the client or the people within the client organization. The consultant is not coming saying that I know everything. The facilitator, is not coming saying that I know everything. Mm-hmm. He will just come and say, okay, we have this problem, we have this concern, we have this challenge. How do you see it? What is your perspective? What is your perspective? What is your perspective? How can we put together our thoughts and come out with a common solution?
Yeah.
So you realize that the facilitator is just providing the context, not the content, for participants to work together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are there some tools that you use?
Of course, it is the responsibility of the facilitator to suggest the best approach, the best way to deal with a situation. Okay? For example, we have a situation we want to discuss. Do we go by a plenary discussion where everybody will have a say, etc., and then we come out with a consensus? Do we go by group work? Do we go by bus groups, which is a little bit different from group work? Mm-hmm. A group is a group, maybe 7 to 10 people. A bus group is sometimes 2 or 3 people at the same table. So most of the time when you talk about boss group, they are the same table.
Yeah.
But it can go very fast because when you are facilitating and you want contribution, instead of expecting everybody, every single individual to bring their thought directly, you ask them to discuss in their table group. So it is a boss group,
Yeah.
and then they bring the substance that they have discussed to the plenary for discussion. Okay? So this is another approach. In some approaches, you can, as a facilitator, suggest that one of the team members make a presentation that will create the condition for a discussion. Okay? You know, so we have a lot of tools like that. Let me give another example. When you do group work,
Yeah.
the normal way to report is you come to plenary, every rapporteur come and present the result of their discussion. So this is a normal plenary discussion. You can also, as a facilitator, decide that, or suggest, because we never decide really, suggest that instead of coming to the plenary, we want to go for a gallery walk. Meaning that every group present their report on a flip chart or on a board, and other people go around and see or discuss with the rapporteur what they have done, and then suggest improvement, suggest amendment, etc., etc. So when they are going around like this, like group A goes to group B goes to group C, and etc., they can contribute. And then you go, you do another turn again. So we call that gallery work.
Gallery work.
Okay?
All right.
Now, we can have also what we call like a cafe.
Okay.
A cafe methodology.
So what is it?
Cafe methodology is a kind of gallery work, but it is not systematic.
Okay.
It means that if this topic, I'm not interested in this topic, I prefer to go there. You are in the same group.
Yeah.
But me, I prefer to go there, you prefer to go there. So it's like you just take your cup of coffee and you go around and you are discussing with other people. You are contributing. Okay. So those are some of the tools. You have many tools like that.
Yeah.
And that is why the facilitator is supposed to have the knowledge of the tools, how it works, how you can adjust sometimes if you don't want to use the tool 100%, you can adjust, you must know how to adjust, etc., etc., to adapt to the context. And I was saying that we don't decide, we just suggest, because it happened to me personally that in a session, for instance, I suggest a methodology, and participants say, no, we don't want that methodology. We prefer to do this. Okay, fine. You prefer that? Is there a consensus about? Yes, okay.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, no problem. Me, I'm here to support.
Exactly.
You know, I'm not here to impose on you. So this flexibility also is one of the capacity that, as a facilitator, we need to develop.
It's good to know. So how do you facilitate an event? Maybe the way you facilitate a small event may be different from the way you facilitate a big event that has many participants.
Okay, well, this is a good question. Of course, we have some kind of standard because, you know, we have an international association of facilitators that organize the profession of facilitators profession. And so we have some standard. And for example, if you call me for a session of 20 participants, let me say just one day, okay, one single facilitator can do the job. If you call a facilitator for a 20 participant session of, let me say, 3 days, it may be good to have a second facilitator so that there is no monotony in the style, the management of the sessions, that if I facilitate this session, another person facilitates another one. It also creates more, let me say, more beauty and more interest for participants, because when participants become fed up, they don't produce.
Exactly.
Okay, so you need to keep the enthusiasm, you need to keep the dynamic, the energy of the group, and this is also the responsibility of the facilitation team. Okay, so if you are the same number, 20, but 3 or 4 days, you will not use one facilitator. Now, when you have, let me say, 100 participants, even if it is one day, it will not be advisable to have one single facilitator because it is more challenging when you will be, for instance, if there is a need for group works, if you split your 100 participants into, I don't know, even 5 groups, it means that every group is another workshop, 20 participants.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay? So the way you want the group to do, you need a facilitator to be with them, to support them. Because of that, when the number become a big number, we advise to have more facilitators.
Okay.
Then we can talk about the tools, because the discussion with your client may be that we don't have that amount of money to pay 5 facilitators for, let me say, 3 days. We don't have that money.
Yeah.
So what do we do? Okay. So the decision in terms of the management of the workshop become an issue. Okay. So that is where sometimes if you are alone or you are only 2, you will decide to go for gallery work, meaning that you put people in groups, they do the work, and then you organize gallery work, etc. Or you go for, I talk about cafe, the World Cafe, we call it World Cafe.
Yes.
That is another way to deal with larger groups. And then we also have open space. Open space is a beautiful approach to organize sessions of even 20 participants to 1,000.
Oh, really?
Yes. But then the approach in an open space is that you don't come with an agenda.
Okay.
You don't, as a facilitator, you don't come with that. So you have to explain to your client, this technique is something that you can use for your particular session because of the number of participants. You explain to them. If they agree, then you apply that. Meaning that even one facilitator can do that. You don't bring an agenda. Participants then define the agenda during the first session. And after the first session, they go and work in the various groups. The reason why it works is that we know for sure that people are more productive if they work in a group where the topic and the people around them, they are interested in working with those people and they are interested in working on that particular topic. If that interest is there, something that can be done in 1 hour, maybe you do it in 30 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So it is a way out if you have a larger group. We have some more, but I want to stop here.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. So maybe you might share with us some experiences that you had in the past while being a facilitator. How did it happen, and are there feedback from participants? How did it go?
Oh yes, oh yes, yes. You know, most of the time when you are in negotiation with your client, you are explaining all these, the tools, the approaches, etc. Sometimes they don't see it.
Yeah.
Unless you are lucky, there is in a group one person who have witnessed something like that before. So the beauty of it is that it is at the end, I say, oh, well, we enjoy this. We like it. We appreciate how you've been able to let everybody participate, the energy that you keep, the enthusiasm of our colleagues, etc. That is some of the feedback that we receive. It is also important to mention that sometimes in some groups, everybody doesn't want to speak because they are afraid.
Yeah.
If the management is this kind of management where you are not allowed to say anything you want. Everything is controlled, etc., etc. But people have a lot of things to do or to say.
Yeah.
Okay, they are suffering in their body, but they can't speak. But as an expert, when you analyze the situation, the client tell you about the problem they are having, you should be in position to know if the problem is coming from the management itself. Okay? You cannot tell the management, look, you are the problem.
No.
Okay? So as a facilitator, you would like to find the best way for the management to be aware of the situation.
Yeah.
And when you create that awareness in the management, then later on you can work with them to help them to solve the problem.
Yeah.
But to bring that to the surface, you need specific techniques. Okay? You have to create the condition for people to feel comfortable to speak out their voice. And that is where we use the VIP technique. The VIP is visualization in participatory program. We have some piece of cards, colorful cards, that we give to participants, asking them to write down their ideas. For example, if you want to identify the challenges that their team has in like promoting excellence, just example. If you use that technique, participants will write down their ideas. You collect the cards, you merge them, and then together you discover the cards. And when you are discovering the cards, you cluster them. Ideas, there are main ideas, under main ideas, under main ideas. And at the end, with participants, you decide how to be the heading for every group of cards. When you finish that, then the result is like a scanning.
Yeah.
You have scanned the team, and everybody can see what is there. Sometimes you can have some very wild comment coming from some of the participants. So first of all, we managed to explain to the manager that something like that may happen, but they should be open-minded to let it go and give you the privilege, the confidence that you will be able to control the situation. Of course, when you introduce the exercise and you explain that people should feel comfortable, they should not be afraid, etc., you should also mention that everything needs to be done in courtesy.
Yeah.
Okay? So we try to manage les choux et les carottes, as we will say in French.
Yeah.
We try to manage both sides.
Oh wow, this is a very interesting, experience that you have shared with us. I think I had that same experience whereby we went to a conference and we were having some issue, and I think this VIP methodology was used. And come and see us writing, because nobody will know that you are the one writing that. So we pour out our hearts, and it was, a benefit for other people, because same mistake were not repeated for the next participants. So thank you so much for sharing that experience with us. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very sure that you learned a lot, because I've learned a lot about facilitating. And this is in your show all about FOASPS, and it is under the show FOASPS activities. And the one and only that educates us on this very much topic is Mr. Alain Kofi Kumoji, the Permanent Secretary of FOASPS. So we would like to use this opportunity to say a very big thank you. Thank you, sir, for being here with us. Thank you for educating us. Always, it's been a pleasure whenever we receive you on the set.
Always a pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, here comes us to the end of this show. We will see you another time. Don't forget to always follow us on our websites and also on FOASPS TV. See you on our next great show. Thank you.